guys, welcome back to the channel. It's a Pop Tart Lee with a video that I thought I'd just make purely because content is slow at the moment. I'm really struggling to find anything to put together with nothing really coming through the door. Figures, Funko, nothing. But I thought it's coming to the end of the what we call summer blockbuster season now. I've managed to see quite a few films, so I thought I'd just share my thoughts. These kind of videos sometimes are hit and miss. It's nice to engage conversation with people about what they liked, what they didn't like, and basically just saying what kind of was my favourite films from the summer that's just gone. So I'm going to stick purely with cinema. I mean, there's been some okay stuff on Netflix, Amazon, Disney, etc. But I could be rambling on for ages. So I thought I'd just go through the best, the worst, the most kind of disappointed I was in a film. I may as well start with the disappointed now, I've just mentioned it. And this is probably going to start with a very unpopular opinion, but what has been a lot of people's favourite film of the year, for me, dull, Oppenheimer. I was really bored during Oppenheimer. It's one of those films where I can appreciate this history to it, very wordy, very long, and I just found a lot of it quite boring. And I know that's not going to be popular at all. Visually, I can appreciate there was a lot of stunning shots. I know there was no special effects used in any of the film, and I can appreciate it was a good story, and I can appreciate a lot of things, but it wasn't for me. Sometimes films, you got to just say it wasn't for me, and Oppenheimer was that film. Was I looking forward to it? Probably not. Was I planning on going to it? Probably not. My brother said about going to see it. I thought, go on, let's give it a go. I should have known better, really, because even the trailer, I was kind of like, well, I'm not sure this is going to be my cup of tea. So that'd probably be the one that I know everyone loved, but not really for me. And if you're going to talk Oppenheimer, you've got to talk Barbie. I did go and take the girl to see Barbie. For moments, it was all right. It had moments. The final joke of the film I did find quite amusing, and a couple of bits throughout okay as well, but it very much felt like you were being pushed into an education on feminism, which is fine. I'm sure it's got its place in the world in 2023. Probably old guys like me probably haven't, but I know Barbie wasn't aimed at me. It was what it was. It's a film I will never watch again. And if we're going to talk films I'm never going to watch again, unfortunately, the film I've seen most recently, and it's as recent as today, Blue Beetle. Oh, rubbish. I'm sorry, I was really kind of hoping that this was going to be decent. Really like the lead actor, Yolo, I can't remember his second name, met him at Liverpool Comic Con last year with a couple of the guys. Seemed a really nice guy. I like him in Cobra Kai, and he's okay in this, but it's just a really bad film. The best way I can describe it is imagine a number of decent superhero films being ripped off and that were done a lot better, and then like taking parts and just doing it wrong. It was a real mess with some real bad comedy moments that didn't hit the mark for me whatsoever. One of the worst films I've seen in a long time, and it really disappointing because I didn't go in with massively high expectations because I'd heard different things. I was expecting maybe a middle of the road film, just something nice, get out, go to the cinema. But yeah, Blue Beetle would one, I would say avoid that as well. And another one that's not aimed at me, took the kids again, Little Mermaid. Another one of these live Disney action remakes that I'm not on board with them, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to say I'm massively a big fan of the Little Mermaid. How dare they do this with the cartoons? I'm not really fussed about any of it, to be honest with you. I've got no issue with musicals. The songs from the Little Mermaid are decent enough, and the ones that I kind of knew, they were catchy enough, but it just felt pointless. And I always kind of try and judge these kind of films when I go and I take the kids, and if it's a film I'm not really that interested in, if they come out and they're not bothered as well, I kind of think, well, there, you know what I mean? There's three of us then who weren't really that bothered. My missus did say that she thought it was okay, but I think that might have been because I came out and the little in me was just, that was boring. That was it. It was just unnecessary. It was unnecessary. Negativity done. Let's get on to some of the good films from this year. So some really cool sequels. I know that not everyone was on board with Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny. I really enjoyed it. Seeing an Indiana Jones film in the cinema is always going to be a plus for me. After Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, really, that was a really bad ending. I'm glad that Indiana Jones got one more adventure. The end, yeah, okay, it goes a little bit far-fetched, but you know what, sometimes a blockbuster film is about switching your brain off, just going along for the ride, and I thought they did this really well. They didn't dwell too much on the fact that obviously Harrison Ford is now 80 plus. I thought the action scenes were fun. I thought the dialogue was good, and it felt like an Indiana Jones adventure, and it was something I was going into it in the right mood, and I did enjoy it quite a lot. Another sequel which was good, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1. I have one, I say no more negatives, less than a minute, here we go. One flaw with that was that one of the main scenes was in the trailer. I just felt like they built a suspenseful moment towards the end of the film, and every man and his wife who've seen the trailer kind of knew which direction that was going to go, which was a shame, but it's a very small flaw having to a film that I'm really looking forward to the sequel and enjoyed quite a lot. Favourite films then, I'm kind of down to between two. I mean, I did see, I'm trying to think what else I've seen that I've not mentioned. I did see The Flash. It was okay, nothing more than, it wasn't brilliant. The CGI that people talk about, I can see that, but it was okay, it was watchable. There are films that I haven't managed to get around to seeing, The Meg 2, Elemental, both on the watch list. Just, it didn't happen. Ironically, Elemental I will be going to see with the kids this weekend for the National Cinema Day, £3 a ticket, you can't go wrong. Nice recliner seats at the Odeon for me this weekend. But my favourite two films from this year, and it was hard to split, but it was between, it's Marvel, shock horror, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I thought both of these films were fantastic, really enjoyed them. After the way that Marvel has gone recently on the live action films, I mean, I did at the time when I seen Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I went into that with low expectations because I'd seen it been slated and I'd seen it quite a few weeks after release. And I went in and I kind of thought, okay, you know, it wasn't too bad, but we rewatched it on Disney Plus after seeing Guardians, and you think, you know what, yeah, it's not good. Marvel kind of at the moment seems to be just pushing out far too much content. Very hit and miss, but thankfully Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was a big hit for me. But if I was to say between the two, I would have to say Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse. I watched it a couple of times, once at home, once at the cinema, and I enjoy, yeah, it's a good film, but I thought Across the Spider-Verse took it to the next level. Really good film. Again, another one, it's the middle sequel, can't wait to see the third part, but I just sat there and just mind blown by the visuals. I wish I got to see it at the cinema one more time, to be fair, but it just never happened, because I just think that's one of those films where the bigger screen you can see it on, the better. So that would probably just edge Guardians of the Galaxy for my film of the year. Wanted to try and keep this video under 10 minutes, and I'm hoping I'm going to do that, because I want to engage in the conversation with you guys as well. What's been your favourite that you've managed to see at the cinema this year? Like I said, avoiding the Netflix, Amazon, whatnot. What do you think of this year's summer season 2023? Until the next one, hopefully I'm going to try and get some content. But there's just nothing on buying at the moment. It's just one of them. But look after yourself. Have a good weekend, whatever you're doing, and bye for now, guys. Bye.